Ugum, ugum, bugum, 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 devils do, devils do. Ugum, 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 bugum, bugum, devils do, devils do. Ugum, 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 bugum, bugum, devils do, devils do. Ugum, ugum, bugum, 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 devils do, the devils do. The producer is chiming in for this review of Devil's Due, which came out in 2014 and comes to us from the directors of, just set you over there, buddy. Ready or not, here I come with Samantha Weaving, Oh My, Scream 5, and Scream 6. I don't own Scream 6 on Blu-ray yet. Even though I may have not cared for Scream 6, you will have to check out my full review of that to really see how I felt about it. I'm a completionist and will likely end up buying it. But yes, Devil's Due was also written by Lindsay Devlin, who has done nothing since this movie, at least as far as writing goes. I think she has one other film to her writing credit. But, you know what? Hopefully she's doing well. Now, this movie has Allison Miller as Sam McCall, because Sam not only made the pants too long, but Sam really fucked up by getting way too drunk on her honeymoon with Zach. Zach McCall is played by a man named Zach Gilford. Apparently, they didn't trust Zach to remember anyone else's name and said, Zach, we're just going to give you your own name because we don't trust you to figure out anything else. I'm assuming, I guess. We also have Sam Anderson. Anderson, that's me, as Father Thomas. And then you have Vanessa Ray as Susie, the friend. And then you also have Madison Wolfe, who would later go on to be in The Conjuring 2 and a few other movies. She seems to be doing well for herself. That's a good thing. So yeah, newlywed couples in the Dominican Republic. It's found footage, so you get all the cuts and everything like it's supposed to be so legit. And let's just say after a night of drinking, debauchery, and going with a taxi driver they shouldn't have gone with, they wake up the next morning not doing all that well, fly home, and then it turns out that whatever happened in the Dominican Republic has followed them home. Suddenly she is pregnant. And from there, basically, we have a devil possession movie, but found footage style. Which would be great if we didn't have The Devil Inside. The Devil Inside. Oh my, that movie, The Devil Inside. So yeah, found footage, devil possession movie with a couple neat little ideas, but this movie was bad for a reason at the time it got released, and it hasn't aged all that well. And this movie, granted, is only 9 years old, but you can definitely see how, you know, the directors, because it's two directors did Ready or Not, Scream 5 and Scream 6, were able to grow from here, because the writing is absolute dog shit. Now, granted, this could have also had studio interference and been 100% their fault, but this movie has no goddamn ingenuity. No scares. Everything is just sanded off to, like, have no edge to it. It's so obvious where everything is going, and I'm just going to spoil basically all of this because missing out on this movie will not haunt you until your dying days. It's also 9 goddamn years old, so it's almost 10. Shrieking Ty Dillinger / Sean Spears noises for deep cut wrestling fans. This movie is pretty much complete dog shit. I mean, from beginning to end, like, you buy into a little bit of, like, you know, Sam making the pants too long, but also being in love with Zach and vice versa. Zach is a well-meaning guy, but he's also a fucking idiot. Doesn't realize all this stuff happening around him. They get married. There's, a reception with well-meaning family members. And after going to the Dominican Republic and partying on their last night, suddenly a taxi driver shows up and says, I'm going to show you somewhere. They go to this party in this underground cave where men are staring at her, Sam says. And then suddenly they wake up in the morning and they're not doing all that well. But we just get a quick flash of some kind of ceremony thing going on. Why is this? Because we had a medium a little bit before this party say, you were born from death, they've been waiting, you are the first of many. Because there was a Bible quote from John 2:18 about the last hour and the many antichrists being born, and sure, why not? It's all bullshit anyway. And the jump scare noises are terribly, terribly telegraphed. The found footage aspect would work, except you don't really buy into anything that, you know, this movie tries to build, because anything it tries to, like, get, you know, sink its teeth into and let you get invested in, it suddenly just cuts away. there's not really a ton of violence until like later on, and even then that violence really isn't all that inspired. She's suddenly pregnant. There is a dog. The dog is the most fleshed out character in the movie. The dog also seemingly disappears, and then she gets a little bit more violent as time goes on. She wakes up during the night and grabs Zach's wrist, and no, you will not do this, and then falls back asleep. So clearly there's something going on. The doctor comes to, the doctor does the ultrasound thing flips out. They take a picture or take a video of them with the ultrasound picture, and suddenly that doctor disappears. And then there's an older doctor that shows up. Almost like this, weird cult that worships Blue Oysters. I've been around, kid, and I've been a square kid. No, are everywhere. Why are they everywhere? Because they're going to bring so many antichrists in the last hour. This movie also seems to last about 3 goddamn hours, despite only being about 82 minutes. And it's so funny that they don't realize, early on, sometime after this, but before, all this stuff really goes to shit, that people broke into their house from this seemingly abandoned neighbor house with a busted out window in one of the cars to install cameras everywhere. Security cameras, just keep an eye on them. Why? Because it's just this lone couple, and these people have absolutely insane, amounts of resources as far as money. And yeah, the doctor has disappeared, almost like the doctor got killed. And this old guy shows up clearly as part of the cultists. And then we get a party. Why do we get a party? Because why the hell not? Sam is not doing all that well. The dog knows that there are weird cameras around the goddamn house. The most hilarious thing is when they try to get the amniotic fluid out. And Sam's yelling, get it out, get it out. And that's what she said to Zach. He didn't pull out too soon. You need to have better pull-out game, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's still what the kids say. Sir, I need to ask you a serious question. Do the kids still say pull-out game? You know, you interact. You interact and get on social media, and you know what pull-out game is. You don't have kittens, so you had really good pull-out game. Yes? You're just not going to chime in. Fine. Anyway, he'll have to get treats after this because, yeah, enjoy the producer tale, by the way. So, there's a first communion for some of the neighborhood girls. The father gets around them, gets around the kids. Everything's fine, not creepy at all. And also gets around Sam, and Sam makes him sick. And then he ends up having a really, really bad reaction, bleeding and seemingly melting from the inside out. We sort of see this, we sort of don't. Sam's like, what's wrong with me? Well, the fact you're in Devil's Due would be a clue. And then there's a baby shower, because why the hell not? There are strange symbols, like the cult symbols, strange, piles of ashes and symbols all over the place. There's hidden ash symbols all throughout the goddamn movie. And if you actually could see through the really, really dark, mood that they try to set, you'd be able to spot more of them. You can spot a few. It's hidden message stuff. It's like Easter eggs for idiots. And the dog growls at Sam for not only making the pants too long, but not feeding him, and also for the fact that there's a devil baby there. The CGI at one point, when it's supposed to be like pushing up on Sam's stomach. Ooh, that was rough. And this was 9 goddamn years ago. That's a $7 million budget, 8-point-something million opening. Made only $15 million in the U.S., but made about $36 million worldwide. So even with the advertising, it more than broke even. But eventually, things go totally tits up. A friend shows up. The friend gets killed. Sam, continuing to make the pants too long and continuing to carve and everything and bleed and act all crazy, kills her friend, starts to, indiscriminately kill deer just before this, and kills 3 people that are out filming something in the park for some reason. See, I would have rather leaned into that bullshit there. And then Zach realizes, hey, wait a second, I'm going to follow this car. I followed it to this house, a seemingly abandoned house. And what ends up happening
is he finds that the house is abandoned, except it's set up with electricity, internet, and everything so they can keep an eye on this house. Oh my god, my dog's barking at something and there are people in my house. I probably shouldn't have gone over here for something that anybody with half a brain cell would have been able to tell was actually the case. So he goes back. There's Latin people chanting in the abandoned house, and then acting strange in their house. They're all over the goddamn place because these cultists have nothing else to do with their goddamn lives. They just pop up like horror movie villains, which I guess is kind of fitting for the theme. And then I guess the baby is perfectly fine or healthy or whatever, but all I know is Zach gets bashed into the wall. Boom, boom, boom. Sam is bleeding out like crazy. The cultists take the baby, and then we cut back to where we were at the beginning with an interrogation of Zach, where they said, "What happened?" "Oh, they took the baby." "Why don't you tell us what really happened?" And then we cut to France, where that same cab driver in the Dominican Republic, apparently teleporting, takes a honeymoon, bound couple right to a party that's seemingly going to be in the same location, because why the fuck would any of that make sense? Yeah, Devil's Due is complete goddamn dog shit. It really is. And then it ends with that oogum boogum boogum that we're going to get the producer for. We're going to go oogum oogum boogum 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 Devil's Due. Devil's Due. And then that's where we end. We end with a stupid ending that plans for a sequel. That is going to be my eye if you're not careful. Devil's Due, Devil's Due. So, let me know what you thought of Devil's Due in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. This is the producer. Adopt, don't shop. I've had you for 6+ years. And it's been a great 6 years. I know you are happy. Aren't you? Anyway, we will see you soon.